Hello and welcome to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I am Beth Cooper.
And I am Stacey Early Wine, and I couldn't hardly get my glasses off my head. You know, there's a crazy thing about not being blind but needing readers.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness, because it's like I'm perfectly fine right here, but if I want to look down here,
yeah,
I'm the most fidgety person you've ever met.
Yeah.
Well, woo!
Yes, we have a really fun show planned for today. I'm excited about it.
Oh, yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Well, it's wonderful. It's your family history for you.
Yeah.
Nothing makes you happier. That's one thing I did love about doing the show, is I like when we talk about our own family history, and it's fun. I'm excited to hear about a lot of it.
Yeah, good. Okay, so we always start off our show, though, with an old ad or something, because Stacey and I love history, we love old things, and that's what the whole show is basically about. So, today we have a kind of a funny ad. It's an ad you don't see anymore. They don't run ads like this anymore. I think it's illegal to run an ad like this.
Oh, I think you're right. I think it is. I think you're right.
They may be guessing what we're going to talk about.
Let them stew just a little.
What could it be?
What could it be?
It is cigarettes.
Cigarettes.
This is an old Camel's cigarette ad, and it says, "I never tire of the flavor of Camels," from Mrs. James Russell Lowell.
Yeah, I never understood. I don't smoke. I don't smoke. I never have. But I don't understand. I never tire of the flavor of Camels. Camels are the nastiest ones because they don't even have the filters, right?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about it, but they're still around, same package and everything.
Okay.
But I love this. They are smooth and mild. The taste of Camel cigarettes is always delicious and smooth and mild without being flat or sweetish. And they never get on my nerves.
Oh.
Which I consider important, says Mrs. Lowell. Naturally, I have other brands in the house, too, in case anyone should want them. But I find most people agree with me that preferring Camels. Certainly women prefer cigarettes that doesn't make them nervous. Most men do, too. Camels' costlier tobaccos never get on your nerves, no matter how many you smoke.
Oh.
They always give you a cool, mild smoke with a flavor of smooth and rich that each one tastes as good as the last.
It's interesting to me they picked this, like, kind of ritzy, rich woman, like, with her long name, Mrs. James Russell Lowell. Like, she's high up in society. And she's wearing her, what is that, pearl bracelet?
Oh, yeah. She's got her jewels on.
She's standing in what looks to be like a high-end kind of home or something. Look at that mirror.
I don't know, but I'd kill for that mirror. That'd look great in the theater, huh?
Oh, man, that's gorgeous.
Let's just talk real quick about the writers of cigarettes. Smooth. Doesn't get on your nerves. Tastes great. It's smoke.
All of the copywriters, though, from that. What do you think that is? 1950s, 1940s?
Oh, no, it's definitely I'd say it's probably the 20s. Let me see. That looks pretty.
Yeah, she kind of has a 20s hairdo.
Copyright, 1934.
Okay, 34. So those copywriters and those early ads and those magazines, like, they're the people that write all the words and write all of the text. Yeah, and they had it going on. Like, they were really good.
Oh, my God.
Very descriptive.
I don't smoke. I despise smoking. I want to go get some Camels now.
We are not doing that after the show.
No, we're not.
Sometimes we say things on the show and we're like, yeah, let's run by the cemetery and check out that grave or whatever. And today, we've even said, let's go buy a lottery ticket.
Oh, we've done that before. But no, we're not getting cigarettes.
We're not buying cigarettes. That's where I draw the line.
Oh, yeah. But, I've been binge watching a lot of, like, old TV shows, like, from the 50s and stuff. Shocking. I mean, everybody's smoking.
Oh, everybody.
Do you remember the day everybody was smoking on TV?
Yes, everybody smoked.
Yeah.
It was not an uncommon thing. I mean, it was normal.
Yeah, I think it's crazy. And you watch it and you're like...
I know. And, like, I can't stand the smell of smoke. Like, if somebody is smoking, it gives me, like, an instant migraine. Like,
me too. I can't stand it.
Even if they're 15 feet away from the door and I have to walk through that spot to get to the door of a business or something, I'm just like, it just kills my head. But
I got to tell you a funny...
Yeah, go ahead.
Funny story. So, Steak and Shake. Going to Steak and Shake. You know, Steak and Shake's got like the old diner feel.
Yes.
See right here?
Yeah.
It's like no non-smoking section. Like it matters in us building the
Oh,
size
right.
of Steak and Shake.
Yes.
They literally, so our family sits down. There's a wall right here. Smoking's right here. So literally, I'm in the
I
non-smoking
never
section.
understood that.
And
Never.
the guy's sitting like right close. He's closer to me than you and I are.
He's smoking?
He's smoking, but he was in smoking. I was in non-smoking, and I just remember thinking that was one of my light bulb moments when I was like, "Man, the world is dumb."
Yeah,
Yeah.
common sense. That doesn't. I never had that figured out, and I just, you know, and no offense to the people that do smoke. I mean, I'm not
yeah.
putting you down. It's
Whatever.
just for me, it gives me a headache. But
Do you buy those Camel cigarettes?
yeah,
I wonder how much. You're talking 1934. I wonder how long, how many billions of dollars has Camel made
oh
over cigarettes?
yeah.
I don't know. Something that's really probably cheap. I mean, back in the day, I mean, it's just a plant, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
Yeah,
thinking about
I think
tobacco
they even grew
farms.
tobacco in Clay County for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think anyone
By
in Clay
the
County
way,
grows
that might be another episode. Who knows?
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. I think there is a couple of places in Wayne County that grows tobacco. But I'm not positive on that. I think there might be an Amish farm that does. I don't know. Not a
Okay.
farmer, but I did drive by a field and I thought, I think that's tobacco.
Well, it could be marijuana now, right? Can't we grow that stuff legally now?
Yeah, but I don't know. Does it just grow in a field? I don't think so.
I'd have no clue.
I don't know.
There's probably more regular. I don't think you'd want like 15 acres of marijuana
Yeah,
growing
probably
in
not.
Clay County
Yeah, I don't
or
think
Wayne
so.
County.
No, I don't think so.
Funny.
Yeah. Okay, so
What are we even going to start?
yeah, so let's talk about what our subject is today. It is the East End Cafe in Flora, which stood out where the La Fuente Mexican restaurant stands today. And I'll show you a quick picture of the building.
Yeah, let's show
Back
an original.
in the day, this is the East End Cafe here. Not sure of the year of this photo, but what
Well,
year?
let's look at the cars.
Yeah. What is that? Like
That's not the-
60s?
Would that maybe be the 40s? Would cars look like that in the 40s?
I
Or
don't
have we
think so.
kind of condensed down? I bet you're right. I bet that is the
that's the
60s.
60s.
But you know what? I wonder how long that building's out. I just don't have a lot of memories of the East End Cafe. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of them.
I don't know when that building came down, but an
know,
interesting
but
thing
it's
about
neat.
the building, a lot of people remember the East End Cafe, but not very many people remember this. This was Max, complete day and night service. Phone number was just 34, and this was where the East End Cafe was. This was the first building that was there. So this was a restaurant and gas station. And I don't know what happened to this building or if they just remodeled it into the East End Cafe, but I kind of think this building was torn down and the East End Cafe was built.
I bet you're right.
And this was called Max. So this is the very early days. And I got this online, so I
don't know. They may have added on to that. I don't know. But
I don't think
See,
so,
that
because-
looks to me like I bet that looks like the 20s or 30s.
oh yeah, that's
Easy.
Look at those old trucks.
Yeah, the trucks are cool. Look how big they are. I mean, look at
Yeah.
the cab of that truck as well.
Yeah, they were.
And there was gas pumps there, right?
Yep. See the two little white gas pumps. Out
See,
front?
that's what I don't ever remember about the East End Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I don't know. I don't think that the East End. Like I said, I remember Holland's Truck Stop, the Ranch Hotel we always ate at, but I don't.
I think the East End was maybe gone before your time.
I think it may. I do vaguely remember it. I was born in '67. And I think that just as a child driving by and that type of thing with my parents, I remember the East End Cafe. But I don't think it was much. I think it was torn down pretty much in my time.
Well, my family had a lot to do with the East End Cafe. So my grandma started working there when she was 13 years old.
13? Did they have any child labor laws back then?
They did not, no. So she was washing dishes there with her sister Dolly. And her mom, her name was Effie Payne. My grandma was a Payne, Zelda Payne DeVore now. Basically, the whole family worked there. So grandma worked there, and her sisters, and then my great-grandma, Effie, worked there.
Now,
And-
with so many of your family working there, did they have ties to the owners?
They did not. They were friends with them, but I do have information on the owners. So, the owners were Edwin and Byron McCauley. Okay, McCauley. So I remember Byron McCauley. Do you remember him?
I do not.
Okay.
No, right now it's escaping me.
Okay. So he's a super nice guy. So they were two brothers, Edwin and Byron, and they both got drafted, went to World War II.
Wow.
So while they were in the war, their sister, her name was Fern McCauley, and then her husband, his name was George Smith. They ran it until the other two boys got back from the war.
Okay.
So it was kind of all in the family. So, but after the two boys got back from the war, Byron bought out Edwin. So then basically it was just Byron's restaurant, is the way I understand it. And then Edwin, then he moved from Flora and he went and worked at EIU in Charleston.
Really?
And he lived there until he passed away.
And this is now, it's actually the East End Cafe.
Yes. Yeah. All of this information is on East End. The only thing I know about Max was that picture, and I don't know who owned that or anything. I haven't delved into that.
So when the first picture you showed us, when there was the white picture where it just said Eats.
Yeah.
Was that, let's look at that picture again.
Oh, here's another one.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah, this is the East End. See, and above the East End Cafe, it says McCauley's East End Cafe. Air conditioned, and what's interesting is the mobile gas station is attached to it, and we'll get into that here.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, we're jumping a little bit ahead, I guess, but I love the way all the old sign. I mean, this is just how important air conditioning was, because nobody had air conditioners in their home. Whenever I look at old buildings and that everything is advertised air conditioned. It seems like it is. I like that picture. That's the building I remember.
Okay.
That's the one that I remember, but I don't remember a lot about it.
Yeah, that's one of the later.
So it makes you wonder on that one picture where it said Eats that you showed.
Yeah, that was Max. Let's go back to that. Yeah, this is Max.
Okay.
This is before the East End Cafe was named that. This was the original building. Eats. That's all they had. And they're not air conditioned.
They're not advertising. And then there was another picture you showed. What was that one? Let's check that one out real quick so I can get my brain going. Now it's East End. Okay.
East End Cafe. And the signage kind of changed between, you can tell it's a little, because it doesn't say McCauley's above the.
It does not.
But it was owned by them.
But that mobile station's still there. Yeah, so that was all.
Yep.
This one looks like something you'd see on Route 66.
It sure does. And see how it has restaurant on both sides of the building? Right. That's because the one that's on the left side there, on the left side of your screen, that would be as you're coming down off of the overpass. That way.
Because at this time, Route 50 was the only way through town.
Right. And this was an intersection right there. So that way it was set on the corner. No matter which direction you were coming from, you could tell that was a restaurant. But hey, we need to take a commercial break.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. We'll be right back.
At your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville, you can count on experts to have the solutions to keep you running on the road or in the field. More than just your car, the Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville carry a large inventory of Napa products for farms, heavy trucks, and just about everything that moves. Experienced associates understand your needs and are ready to help with the perfect part at a great value. That's Napa Know-How at your locally owned Napa Auto Parts stores in Flora and Louisville. Briscoe Surplus Sales on the northeast edge of Flora is your one-stop do-it-all shop. Looking for rugged boots and footwear from great brands like Lacrosse, Rocky, and Carolina? They're there. How about top-notch small engine parts and service? Briscoe Surplus Sales has it. Whether you're wiring your switches or switching your wiring, Briscoe Surplus Sales has the solution and the know-how to help you get the job done right the first time. Briscoe Surplus Sales, your one-stop do-it-all shop.
We like technology at Flora Savings Bank. Here's what you can accomplish in our mobile banking app in less than 30 seconds. See account balances in your transactions, set up an account alert, make a transfer between accounts, get an alert text message about your transfer, pay a bill, turn your debit card off and then back on. It all happens in the palm of your hand with our free My Bank to Go app. Search My Bank to Go in the App Store or Google Play and give mobile banking a try. Flora Savings Bank, member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Doors, paint, windows, electrical, plumbing, and much more. Oh, yeah. Give me all your guns, too.
John Lucas,
What?
you better be dreaming about all the stuff we sell here at Zink Building Center.
Oh, I would. Zink Building Center in Louisville on Route 45. It's a cool place.
Okay, hi, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We
just got some really interesting
did.
from our
director,
Mr. Ty Landry.
Yes, he's helping us out, and he looked up some information on Camel cigarettes for
seriously,
us.
you guys
the
are gonna
history of
die.
Camel cigarettes, since we were talking about that in the first segment.
Okay, so Camel Cigarettes, first cigarette company, 1914, they made $425 million
Dollars in 1914.
1916, the company was worth, I can't even say this, $6.5 billion.
Yeah.
And in 1978, they sold 3 trillion cigarettes. I'm astonished by that.
Yeah,
Wow.
More people smoked Camels than any other brand in the United States. That was the major brand. Everybody was
Mind blown.
Everybody. It's practically like almost every adult American was smoking a Camel cigarette.
It was because they were so smooth and taste so good.
Yeah, they didn't get on your nerves
And
at
they
all.
didn't get on your nerves at all. Can you believe?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Crazy.
Okay, my mind is blown.
Crazy train, yeah. Thanks for looking that up, Ty. We
Thank you,
appreciate
Ty.
it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's nuts, Beth.
Yeah, that is. Okay, so
I bet they sold Camels at the East End.
They probably did, and actually, I know that my grandma was a smoker, and my grandpa, and all of the people I think that worked there were probably a smoker at some point.
I remember growing up, everybody, my mom, my dad, my granny, everybody I knew smoked.
Oh, sure.
They all smoked because it was glamorous.
Well, right.
Because of those amazing writers.
It's kind of like us drinking sodas. I mean, almost everybody does it,
Yeah.
It just, nobody thinks twice about it, so
wow.
it's just how it was.
Wow.
Okay, so
where are we at?
we're going back to the East End Cafe.
Okay, I'm back to the East End.
So picture this. Sicily. No, not Sicily. It's
Flora.
Flora. And it's the 1940s. And, okay, so my grandma, she was, let's see, what year would that have been? She was born in 29, so it was the early 40s. She started working there at 13 years old as the dishwasher. Okay, her mother was the cook, the morning and lunch cook, and the pie baker. That would be my great-grandma. So any of you that actually remember eating there and you loved their pie, that was my great-grandma that made it.
Huh.
Okay.
Man, I bet they were good, too.
Yes. So Grandma only went to school until 8th grade, which was pretty common at that time. And then she, at the age of 15, she got moved up to waitress. So she was now a waitress. Her sisters also worked there, and that was Dolly, Ellen, Elsie, and then Zelda. So
there were 5 girls total in your grandma's family?
there was 9 kids total, and 7 of the 9 kids worked at the East End Cafe.
How fun!
Plus their mother. So
wow, it's almost like they were a family business.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So let me show you a picture of my grandma and her sister. See if you know any of these ladies. So I don't have a picture of when they were younger.
I love that.
Yeah. So this is Dolly Ferris on the far left. And these were all Paynes. Dolly was a twin. There was actually several twins in this family, but Dolly was a twin to Donald. But Dolly married Ernie Shehorn and then later married Bill Ferris. And so I knew her as Dolly Ferris. And when she was younger, she had red hair, and she was the cutest little thing. I'm betting she was only like 4'11". Even when I was like 12 years old, I towered over her.
Oh, I was going to say, how cute is she?
Yes, she's super cute. And then next to her is my beautiful grandma. That's Zelda DeVore. And she was married to Pete DeVore. And then next to her is her sister Ellen. And Ellen was married to Marlon Gilley. So she was Ellen Gilley. Many of you may remember her by that name.
Do they all live, because they all look familiar. Of course, I know your grandma, but they all look familiar to me.
And then next to her is Elsie, and Elsie was married to Bob Phelps. And so she was Elsie Phelps. So many of you may remember her. This picture was not taken at the East End Cafe because this was in 2007. This was at the NMN Club in Flora.
Now, the one in the gray, was she by chance a cafeteria cook?
I don't
like
remember that, but I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like
Have
she
to
was
ask
one of my
Grandma.
cafeteria ladies at Lincoln School.
Oh, I don't know. That it could be. But the interesting thing, all of these ladies met their husbands at the East End Cafe.
Oh.
Okay. So
Oh, my goodness.
Grandma met my grandpa, who worked at the mobile station that's connected. We can flip back to that picture in a minute.
Sure.
But the mobile station that was connected to the East End, that's where my grandpa worked. So that's how Grandma met him. And then Elsie and Ellen both married truck drivers.
Were they twins? Elsie and Ellen, were they twins?
No,
Okay.
they weren't.
Okay.
There was, trucks just coming and going constantly.
Oh, yeah.
From there.
Oh, yeah.
And I said that they all met their husbands there. I'm not sure how. Maybe Dolly didn't. I'm not sure that Bob was a truck driver. I don't remember that part. But
So, Grandma.
Uh-huh.
Grandma met her. How did she meet her husband?
He worked at the gas station.
He was the gas station.
She was the waitress over there at the cafe part. And I just imagine
Oh,
all
my
these guys,
gosh.
they just ate all these meals together. And
Can you just, I just got like the music in my head.
uh-huh.
I'm hearing all the, the music's in my head. I can hear
Yes.
the orchestra playing.
Uh-huh.
She's working hard. He's working hard. They come together and, that's just a blessed story, isn't it?
Yeah, it
I
is a
love
cool
that.
story that they worked there for so long. And my grandma worked there until she got married, and then she stayed home after that.
Mm-hmm.
But my great-grandma, the one that was the cook, Effie, she worked there until she was about 61 years old. And she worked every day from 4 a.m. to around 1 p.m., I think Grandma said. And she was like a hard worker. Her whole life, hard worker, got up early every morning, made all the breakfast food, all the lunch food, and baked who knows how many pies every day for all the people that ate there. And then finally retired at 61, and then she passed away at 63.
Are you kidding?
So, she got a couple of years there where she was retired. But
you know what? I bet she loved that, especially because she was a hard worker. People worked really, really hard back in the day. But could you imagine you're going to work today and you've got how many of your daughters working there with you?
yeah.
I mean,
That would be cool.
It would be. It would
And
be
fun.
fun.
I think they all got along, for the most part. I do have a funny story about, I'll go into that in a minute, but I want to talk more about the owners, Byron and Edwin. So they both went to war. I mentioned that. And Byron ended up in a POW camp in Europe for years. And when he was finally freed, he was just like half starved, just bones when he came home. And the interesting thing about Byron is you're probably all going to know where he lived, but his home was the house that WNOI is in now.
How interesting.
That house was Byron McCulley's house. So that's the owner of the East End Cafe. That's where he lived.
Huh.
And then later he sold that to WNOI, and then he bought a house on Sunset Drive.
So what's the time period? So Byron would have been, what time period we're at? What war was that?
World War II. That would have been in the
World War
40s.
II, so the 40s. And so he built the home that the WNOI is in, that's his home.
It was his home. I assume he built it, but it could have already been built and he bought it. I don't know that part.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. But so after he came back from the war, starved like this, he eventually bought out his brother and was the sole owner. But Grandma said she always remembers that back in those days there was what she called bums. There was a lot of bums that came through town. They were hobos. They came through on the trains, and they would get off and they would go knock on doors. This happened all over Flora. Hobos for years coming, and they'd knock on your back door and they would want food. And Byron gave strict instructions to everyone that worked at the cafe and said, any bum that comes to the door, you feed them, because we will feed anybody that is hungry. Because he knew what it was like to be hungry, and he wasn't going to let that happen.
He sounds like a fascinating, God-fearing man. I mean,
I remember him being very kind, and
so
he
you
was,
met him?
Oh yeah, I met him, and the reason that I met him is because Elsie, one of the sisters that was in that picture, she actually lived with him and cared for him in his later years. So, not a romantic relationship at all. No, but she would live there and help care for him.
Now, was he widowed? Was he a widower? Was he never married, or what was his?
That's a really good question because I don't ever remember a wife, but I'm thinking there probably was at one point.
If there were children, Macaulay. I mean, you see that you hear the Macaulay name. Louisville's got a lot of the Macaulay name.
Yeah. I think this was spelled different than some of the others, though. But
oh wow,
I don't know. I think it was actually like Macaulay is more how they said it. Macaulay
instead of
Byron Macaulay instead of Macaulay. Yeah. So and it's spelled a little different, but yeah, I just remember him being a super nice guy, and I think that's pretty cool that he insisted that they always feed the hobos, no matter what you were to feed them.
Yeah, and with our depot and our train movement through Flora, we have a huge history on hobos coming into town.
Yes, we do. Yeah.
Now I don't ever recall anybody knocking on our door or anything. I lived in the south end of town, not too far from the tracks, but I would imagine the restaurants we had a booming industry. But we have like 25 cafes in Flora at one time. So for Flora to have said that, I mean, I would like to think that they all probably lent a hand to
I would
the
hope
hobos.
so. I would hope so.
But Grandma specifically called them bums.
She called them bums, yes, and she's watching right now, and that's what she called them. That was the name for them back then.
Verbiage we used back years ago now is so offensive to everybody, and they don't mean anything by it.
I don't think bums is offensive. I actually think it's kind of a nice way of saying it. I don't know.
Yeah, bum.
Yeah.
What's he say on Home Alone? You filthy.
Oh, you filthy animal.
You filthy animal.
Yeah. Here's your change, you filthy animal.
Yeah, that's kind of neat. But one thing before we're going to take a commercial break, so before you go to another part of it is, I would love to know, like, can you imagine like having the Macaulay sign?
Oh yeah.
Like when they tear something down, I wonder
what happened to that.
What happened to the East End Cafe sign?
Yeah.
I would imagine with Holland's truck stop, knowing Debbie Hodges, the Holland family, they've probably kept that. Somebody, I guarantee's got that. But it does make you wonder, like when the ranch, when the ranch went out, like where are those old signs at?
I know. Like you see in Las Vegas, they have like boneyards kind of for all the old neon signs and stuff. I wish Flora had something like that. We could get back all the signs.
Because the one Rebens.
Yeah. Or some of the beautiful ones downtown.
Oh, yeah.
That hung above the buildings.
Sign?
Yeah.
I was looking at the old picture of downtown Flora not too long ago, and I was like, where are those, like the Orpheum, where were they, the Florine?
Yeah, wouldn't that be cool?
Maybe any of our viewers might know where any of those are at. But
if you have one, we want to buy it.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, take a picture, and then, scavenge it from you. But we need to take a quick commercial break.
We'll be back.
If you're looking for a loan for your brand new home, call Clay County State Bank. If you want to transfer money so your future will look sunny, call Clay County State Bank. We got checking and savings and bill pay too.
An online banking, just ask our crew.
For all your banking needs, we think you will agree.
Clay County State Bank is the place you need to be.
Clay County State Bank.
At Clay City Banking Company, we're all on the same team, regardless of zip code. At home, work, school, or across the country, you can be part of our team with our cutting-edge mobile banking products. From your hand, you can check balances, transfer money, make deposits, and pay bills. Looking for a loan? We've got you covered with our mortgage, agriculture, commercial, and consumer loans. Join our team today. Clay City, Flora, Louisville, and Fairfield Banking Companies. We're the hometown banks, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
It's the weekend and your symptoms are worsening. The morning of a big meeting and you have a bigger sore throat. Ever experienced that urgency after picking up your sick child and your community health center has already closed? You will be able to connect to a provider at crhpc.org. Even if you have never been to CRHPC, you are welcome to utilize our services. Feel better after scheduling a video visit with CRHPC.
Tomorrow. Some fear the uncertainty it brings. Some trust the promise it holds. At Grinnell Mutual, we are always looking forward to tomorrow, growing and innovating, So even if the plans you have for the future aren't the same as the plans that the future holds for you, you can be ready. Because we'll be ready, like we have been for over 100 years. Trust in that. Trust in tomorrow. Talk to your mutual agent today.
Your local agent is on the square. Louisville, Clay County Farmers Mutual Insurance.
Okay, welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. Today we're talking about the East End Cafe in Flora.
Well, it's like a family reunion for you.
Yes, so
I'm loving this. Yeah, I learned so much about Beth's family.
Yeah, it was. I think it was a fun place, and it kind of makes me think a little bit of. Did you ever watch Fried Green Tomatoes, the movie?
My God, I love Fried Green Tomatoes.
I've read the book and watched the movie, but you know how when everyone walked into that cafe, they were just like family in there, and they knew the menu by heart, and everyone was.
Yeah, I'd
friends.
like to go there.
I feel like that about the East End.
I watched that movie. I don't know how many times. It's one of my top 10 favorites. So I've watched it probably 20 times.
Yeah, road trip
because I want to go. I mean, they say there's like that little corner.
I've heard
cafe
there is.
there.
Someone on my Facebook went there one time.
It's in Georgia, right?
Yeah, it's in Georgia.
Which I love Georgia.
I do too.
I like Georgia. Yeah, that would be fun.
So a little funny story that Grandma shared with me about the East End was that. One time, Ellen, her sister Ellen that worked there, she wanted to whip George. She wanted to really fight George. George Smith was the owner at the time that the boys were at the war. So Edwin and Byron had went off to the war. So their sister Fern was staying behind and running it with her husband George.
And
George
she wanted
Smith.
to beat up her boss.
She did, and this is what caused the fight, was that they had one of those swinging doors that you see on TV between the kitchen and the dining room.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? So she is carrying a load of pies.
Oh,
okay?
no.
And she is either exiting the kitchen or entering. I don't remember which way she was going. And George came flying out, going the opposite way, and they collided. Pies. Yeah, pie. I guess it got all over her. Probably went up in the air. I don't know where the pies ended up. Grandma could probably tell me, but she was so mad about that because it was clearly his fault.
Clearly,
and he didn't apologize. He didn't say anything, and
it was clear.
I don't know what he said, but he didn't say, "Oops, I'm sorry."
Here's the thing. Because he's the owner. I need to know this from your grandma. Did he stick around and help clean it up, or did he just all her hard work? The pies are everywhere. She's got pie. The floor's got pie. The walls got pie.
I don't know.
Did he help clean it up?
I'm gonna guess that he didn't, and the reason that I'm guessing this is because she was so mad at him.
Right.
She wanted to quit. She was going to walk out. She was so mad over this.
Oh, I bet.
And my great-grandma, Effie, the cook, she said, all right, if you quit, we'll all quit. We're all going to walk. So basically, that meant the entire employee, like all of the employees, that would have been pretty much wiped out his whole
I think that's the first Norma Ray. Your family is the first Norma Ray. We quit. We can do it. Look, this is your family. The picture behind you, Beth.
Yes, for sure.
So
that's probably where I
out?
get some of what I have. So
did he freak out? I wonder.
Yeah. So Grandma Zelda said that her mom decided they were just all going to just quit. They would just all quit.
We're out
because this is ridiculous. So there would have been no employees left. He was going to lose them all. And so guess what he did, like any good man would do? He apologized. Maybe a little too late, but he did apologize, and they all did continue to work there.
Did they get raises?
I don't know that they got a raise. I'll have to ask. But the reason he wasn't at the war, he was a little older than the other boys, so I think that he had not gotten drafted maybe because of his age. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Grandma wasn't sure on that either, but that was kind of our guess why George was still there.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, Ellen she wanted to whip George.
Well, you know what? Ellen probably could have taken George at that time.
I think Ellen probably could. I don't have a picture of George, but I know Ellen, and I remember Ellen pretty well. I bet if she set her mind to it, she could take him. They were all tough ladies, hard workers. Every one of them, hard workers.
Look, because those cafes were just bustling.
Oh yeah, it was people in and out all day long.
And I can't even fathom getting up at 4:00 in the morning.
Reminds me of that commercial from the 80s where he says, time to make the donut. Do you
Dunkin'
remember that?
Donuts.
Yeah.
And he's getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't fathom it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and making all those pies, and I just
But
can't
then,
imagine.
their workday, was over at 1, if they went in that early.
True.
So that was...
Now, when you were in, real quick, since we're talking about family work and stuff, when you were in high school, did you work?
I did. Yeah, I had several little fun jobs. So I worked. My first job was working for CCI, or Clay County Industries, in Flora. I worked in the old seminary school building. They had a little workshop next to it. That's where I worked, and I supervised some adults that washed cars and did small jobs around Flora. They were developmentally disabled adults that I worked with. So I worked there off and on for the next few years, but one of my favorite jobs was, and I worked there, I think my junior year of high school, was at the shoe store at the mall in Effingham.
Oh, okay.
Footworks.
Footworks, yeah.
Yeah. It was owned by Paul Akery, who actually works here at Wabash.
Huh.
And that was a super fun job because I got to see all of the new shoes first. I always had really cute shoes.
I could never work at a shoe store because I would never have a paycheck.
Oh, well.
Oh, they'd be gone all the time.
Yeah, these were all athletic style shoes. So it's.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like tennis shoes, but I wouldn't buy just all tennis shoes all the time. But
I worked.
That was a fun job.
When I was
Where'd
16, I worked at the Tasty Freeze.
Oh, okay.
The Tasty Freeze was a little building, and we've got pictures of the Tasty Freeze. I don't think we did it on our restaurant because I just found the pictures. But Tasty Freeze was where that little toot is now, across from Charlie Brown Park.
Oh,
Kiwanis Park.
Yeah, that ATM, little toot ATM.
And then the owner lived in the trailer. The trailer's still right there.
Oh,
Eileen Jackson. Was the owner, her and her husband, and I loved the Tasty Freeze. It had where you could still come up to the front, to the counter, and get ice cream and get that type of thing. But then it had a little diner, a little sitting place off to the side. I worked there when I was 16, my junior year. I loved it. And that Jackson, he loved me too, man. He would. It was great, because you had where you did the custard part, but then they had a full menu, they could. It was kind of it was like Duke's and Julian's. And then the Tasty Freeze was just on that end of town. And I absolutely loved it. And there would be times that Mr. Jackson would be like, well, Stacey, I'm going to go take a nap. If anybody shows up, you think you can handle the grill? Oh. I love cooking that. I could cook that kind of food. It was great. I loved it. And, I loved working there. It was absolutely spectacular. One of my favorite jobs. They were glorious. Like I said, Eileen Jackson, she's still alive. He passed away, but she lives back there. And, oh, my gosh, they were just the greatest people. But there were people in and out of there. Mrs. Winchester. Imogene Winchester came in every single day.
Oh, really?
Imogene was one of the most glorious teachers that ever went through Unit 35. She knew everybody's name. She taught at Clay City, I believe. She taught at Flora. She taught everywhere.
I don't know her.
Mrs. Winchester. She was just wonderful, and she was that teacher that knew everybody's name. She would come in with her cane, and I remember when Mrs. Winchester died, I specifically went to the auction so I could buy her cane.
Aww.
And her cane is in my front entranceway in a basket.
That's cool.
Love that woman, but I loved working at Tasty Freeze.
Yeah.
So I kind of get that cafe vibe. It was fun because people come in. It was the same people all the time.
You had your regulars.
And on Sundays, we worked Sundays after church. The same people came in every Sunday, and they had the tea burger. And it was good. It was
what was it?
The tea burger was almost like a just like a McDonald's Big Mac, except it wasn't the Thousand Island dressing. It was tartar sauce.
Oh,
I would love that. A tartar sauce, and the tea burger was good.
It sounds good.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I loved that. Yeah, I loved working. I could almost see me purchasing that and owning that and doing that as my job. But they got older. They ended up tearing the building down and that type of thing.
Yeah.
And it was sad. The Tasty Freeze.
Okay.
Wonderful.
I don't remember it. What was it before it was Tasty Freeze? Is that where Country School was? Country School?
I don't know. We'll have to look at. All I've ever known it was the Tasty Freeze because it was built in the 40s.
Okay.
But we'll have to see because we'll have to check that out. But because there's a lot of I think it'd be fun to do the Rebens and the Dukes. And especially all those that those of us our age, we remember those restaurants and summer.
And when we say we're going to do something in the future, that doesn't mean next week because we have episodes planned out for a long way ahead. So when you hear us say that, we will eventually get to it, but it does not mean next week.
That means we're going to write it down in our handy dandy notebooks. So because we chase rabbits on this show all the time.
Yes, we
do.
I
completely probably interrupted you talking about my heyday.
Well, that's okay. So one other thing I was going to say about the East End Cafe is, on one of our very first episodes, we talked about famous people that came to Flora.
Yes, we did.
And one of those people that came through Flora on his way to Clay City was Roy Rogers. Guess where he stopped to eat?
No
in
way.
Flora. Mm-hmm.
So your family met Roy Rogers.
Yes, Grandma saw him. She was not his waitress that day. No, she didn't wait on him.
Did they
she
fight
did see him.
I wonder if he was a big tipper.
I don't know. But yeah, Roy Rogers. And I think Grandma said at that time she wasn't real familiar with him.
Really?
I don't think she knew a lot about him, but maybe.
Now Roy,
maybe she did.
He was
I
a
don't know what
singing
she said.
actor. He sang and it was right.
Yeah, he was cowboy.
Was he
like
Happy
a cowboy.
Trails?
I think so.
Happy Trails to you?
Yeah. His wife was Dale Evans.
Dale Evans, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How fun. So he stopped there.
And his horse was Trigger and his dog was Bullet, which I forgot on that episode, and I came back to that and said it a couple of times. But just so people know, I do know the name of the dog. Now.
Yes, because, we ask you guys, if there's something that we don't know and we put it out there, we really want to hear from you. Beth, you want to tell them where they can actually...
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that real quick.
Because we only have a minute until we go to commercial break.
Yeah.
But we have... you can catch us first on Wabash Television, Channel 100. We're on daily at 11 a.m., Monday through Friday. And then we're also on YouTube, and our YouTube channel is called By the Way with Beth and Stacey. And we have, over 20 episodes on there now.
Do we have 20?
We have over 20. I think there's 22 or so on
now. And when you
right
type
now,
in that, you have to type in "By the Way" with Beth and Stacey.
Yes.
Because we're not so popular where we just pop up.
Yeah,
okay?
we're gonna be one day.
We're gonna be
not
one of these days.
Yet, so.
And you have to spell Stacey, Stacey.
Yes.
They're real particular about that on YouTube.
Yeah.
But we would love for you guys to pop on there and YouTube us.
And we're also on Facebook. Same thing. Our Facebook page is By the Way with Beth and Stacey. We would love for you to like it and share it. And if you have any questions, comments, show ideas, anything.
Feedback. We like feedback.
Email us at By the Way with Beth and Stacey at gmail.com.
Well, I was telling Beth this morning that I was getting ready to come to the show today, and what was interesting is I had 2 different messages from people, friends, customers, and they're like, Stacey, by the way, you touched on this last week, and that was my daughter-in-law's family, or Stacey, you touched on this, and that was my family. And then it opens up a whole new world for us, because now we want to venture out a little bit more on.
Yep.
But yeah, I know, I truly love hearing from everybody.
I do too. Everything I've heard from people, I really appreciate that. So thank you for those that have reached out to us.
Yeah, and it's just fun, except my grandson Jack still wants to watch Bad Animals.
Oh, he doesn't want to watch you on YouTube?
No. We pulled it up the other day. He was like, yeah, let's watch Alligators. And I'm like, oh, let's watch this. So the theme song started, and he's like, yeah, what are you doing on TV? I said, that's me and Beth. And he recognized you from the chicken coop. He's like, well, that's the lady with the chickens. And I said, yes, it is. I said, let's watch this. He said, no, let's watch Alligators. So I got you, but it's time for a commercial break now.
We'll be back.
Do you bowl like this? That's great. Do you bowl like this? That's great too. That's because whether you're a pro or you just want to have a lot of fun, at Peggle's Silver Dollar Lanes, we have a lane for you. We have galaxy bowling, gaming for kids and adults, Joe's Pizza, a full bar, darts, pool, and fresh and clean bowling shoes. Boy, does that smell nice. So come on down to Peggle Silver Dollar Lanes in Effingham, where we have a lane for you.
My name is Robin Stanford. I own Stanford Marketing. It's a promotional products business along with an embroidery business. And we do custom hats, t-shirts, anything, you name it, we can make it. People like that we do stuff in-house and we can actually make things here and that we're not contracting the work out to other places. We never say no. We always try to find a way to do it. If anybody can do it, we can do it. We are hardworking women, that is for sure. Come to Stanford Marketing in Flora for all your custom and promotional needs.
The insurance specialists have options to tailor to your needs at CSI Insurance Brokers. Experienced insurance brokers at CSI are skilled with all types of insurance plans and policies and represent many companies, including Safeco Insurance. You'll benefit from their detailed expertise, unbeatable premiums, and commitment to customer service. CSI Insurance Brokers and Safeco Insurance Company, providing affordable rates on quality insurance since 1952.
For over 50 years, at your locally owned and operated Roll King Supply in Salem and Olney, we've helped you and your neighbors enjoy an easy country lifestyle. We carry the most thorough sporting goods department around with a huge variety of hunting and fishing gear, camping equipment, and a variety of firearms for any need. Our team is here to help you find whatever you need. Open every day, it's Roll King in Salem and Olney, your locally owned farm and home store.
Welcome back to By the Way with Beth and Stacey. I'm Beth Cooper.
I am Stacey Early Wine, and we are talking about the East End Cafe, a.k.a. Beth's family history.
Yeah.
Loving it. Hey, what's this?
This is the menu that they had.
What?
This menu is my grandma's copy of a menu that they had in 1942 or 43. She couldn't remember. But Ty, would you want to zoom in on that menu a little bit?
Let's check this little baby out.
Let's see if I can. There we go. Okay. Let it focus for just a minute. Here we go. There we go. That's good. Yeah. So this is so fun.
I love
These
this.
prices are amazing. So
if only.
This is their breakfast menu only. So I don't have a copy of the lunch and dinner menu. This is only breakfast. But
I love cereals for health, Beth.
Yes, cereals for health. And this is a pretty healthy menu overall. There's not a lot of like super bad stuff on there, but
look underneath that. The cereals for health with milk, 10 cents. Half and half, 15. Pure cream, 20 cents.
Who eats their cereal with pure cream?
Well, I don't know. What would that even be?
Pure cream? That's like
that would be
whipping
super.
cream. That's like that's whipping cream. Like right now, you can buy that in like a little thing, like a quart at Walmart whipping cream. That's
because that's what Jim makes his ice cream with. But that's super thick.
Yeah, it is.
See, and I don't even
pour
like
that over your Rice Krispies.
It'd be like,
it'd be almost like oatmeal kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. That might be too much.
But the special, I can't imagine. I bet people every morning just walked in there and be like, "I'll have the special."
Well, why wouldn't you?
It's 35 cents. You get your choice of cereal with milk. You get 2 eggs, any style, or bacon with 1 egg. And then you get toast, and you can have it dry or buttered, and then you get your coffee.
For how much?
35 cents for the whole shebang.
Can you believe? Well, the big breakfast, number 4, is, I like that one. Choice of fruit or juice or cereal with milk, 2 eggs with bacon, toast, dry or buttered coffee. Dry or buttered, and then with coffee. 45 cents.
Yeah.
Huh. Now, see, I wouldn't be on that side. Now, if you were going in there today, what would you order?
Gosh. I would probably order eggs and bacon. I really probably would. I do love eggs and bacon, but there's a chance I might get a donut. You can get 2 donuts for a nickel. 5 cents for fresh donuts.
See, now if I'm going in there, I am getting, you know what I don't see on here, though, is hash browns.
Yeah, or biscuits and gravy.
There's no hash browns, no biscuits and gravy, which I find that interesting. This old girl's going in and getting 2 pancakes and 2 sausage links.
Oh.
Boom, all the way. And if they had hash browns, I would get that. And they don't have waffles.
Nope. No, they don't. But the griddle cakes would be the pancakes.
Griddle cake, I love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sounds good. And I bet they serve the syrup warm like they do at Cracker Barrel, you know?
Oh, yeah.
But the fresh donuts, you get 2 of them for a nickel, and donuts are a lot of work to make.
Oh, yeah. Well, look at all the different cereals. What do you got? Cornflakes, all bran, Wheaties, bran flakes. What? Oh, puffed wheat. My mother and her puffed wheat. Grape nuts, shredded wheat. It is healthy cereal. Rice Krispies, puffed rice, grape nut flakes, and cooked cereal. And you could get a banana on there. How much does that say, that banana?
5 cents extra
5
for
cents
a sliced
extra.
banana.
Yeah, that's all really.
Yeah.
No wonder it says cereals for your health, because I don't see no Captain Crunch on there.
Even these people eating a big old breakfast, it's still pretty healthy stuff. Like, there's not a ton of sugar in this and no preservatives.
And those cereals, there's no sugar in any of those. Like I said, there's no Captain Crunch or
no.
Fruity Pebbles up there.
Think of all the sugar they've knocked out.
Well, and the other thing about these people, the reason why nobody was fat back in the day. Even though
worked all
they
the
ate,
time.
they worked. As soon as those people left that joint, they were trugging it along.
Yeah, but look down at the bottom. Just a fresh hot coffee is a nickel. 5 cents for coffee. Now, if you were to go somewhere today to get coffee, just a plain black coffee, what is it? I mean, I think
I don't drink coffee.
I think I don't know if there's like a discount at McDonald's or not, but a lot of places it's over $2 just for coffee.
Oh well, if you think of, and then you got all the foo coffees. They're over $5. They're $5-6.
There's some coffees that I have ordered that have been like over $6 for the cup of coffee.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, and they're good, but
But this old coffee, this is the coffee that they cooked. They probably cooked a pot every 15 minutes.
Probably.
And it sat there. You know, you remember like the old coffee stations that looked like one would be like orange lid because it was decaffeinated.
Yes, yeah.
The other one was just, you know, caffeinated.
Yeah, that's how it is at church. We have the different colors.
That's right, we do.
Yeah.
We have one of them old machines. Yeah.
Yeah, but the other thing I thought was interesting about this menu that I don't think that you normally see on breakfast menus today is near the top under fruits and juices, you got prunes.
Okay. Oh, my Lanta.
Prunes for 10 cents.
Okay, so real quick, Beth, can I just tell you, when I saw fruits and juices, I didn't even look at it. I went right down to the pancakes. Yeah, fruits and juices, didn't even read it.
Yeah. But, you know, they offered fresh berries. They offered sliced banana with cream. So you just eat your banana in your whipping cream.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Melons, grapefruit, sliced oranges, and then your prunes. So I'm just curious, like, how many people do you think walked in and was like, I'll have a cup of coffee and some prunes?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's like, Effie, how's the prunes today, babe?
And do you have like a public restroom in there? Because
how funny.
Somebody's prunes are going to hit them and they're going to have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I wonder if the prunes is that just prune juice? Because that's under the juices, right?
Yeah.
Because you have sliced oranges, prunes. Yeah, the only two juices, it looks like it's orange juice and pineapple juice.
Yeah, I don't think it's a juice.
And
Because
tomato
otherwise they would have
juice.
put juice next to it.
Yeah, and tomato juice is right underneath it. I don't like tomato juice, which is shocking because I love everything Italian and I love tomatoes, but I don't like I'm a texture girl. Things are weird with me.
Yeah, I'm not big on tomato juice. I do like tomatoes that are in things, but
yeah, I do too.
But not.
How neat is that? And this menu that she's got is in prime condition. I mean,
yeah.
Nobody picked that up with ketchup on their fingers.
No, and
I love it that she kept it. That's pretty cool.
Okay, so do you see under breakfast it says Beverly? In
yes.
Somebody's handwriting it says Beverly. Beverly was Ellen's daughter, and her job was to make the menus. So see, it just another generation, like of the family that was working there. Her job was menu maker. So
like did all the menus have her name? The menus that she made had Beverly on them?
I don't know, but the one Grandma kept did. But maybe Grandma wanted to, remember that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why it says if she signed them all. I don't know. And another thing, did she type all these up on a typewriter one at a time?
Oh, I bet she did.
They didn't have copy machines.
They didn't have copy machines.
Yeah.
I bet she did.
So she did pretty darn good. But I don't think so. Again, like, I'm not sure how they did that because, like, a typewriter, you would only have the same type. Like you would, all your letters would be the same size and the same font.
Well, we would have had
that's not going on there. So I wonder if maybe they took them to a printer.
We had the printer.
Press.
We had a printer for years.
Yeah, Flora printing.
Flora printing, but it's and that would be another fun.
Yeah, because it's all very easily read, and there's no mistakes. There's no I've looked for spelling and all through that.
Of course you have.
Yeah, it's good. They did a great job.
So Beverly's got your approval.
I approve.
You approve?
I approve.
Of the East End Cafe
menu. Yes.
Menu from the 40s.
Yes, and I can't say that about every menu I read because I proofread every menu I read.
I know.
And there are a ton with mistakes, and it is like a knife through my heart every time.
Yeah, you are the English police.
I try not to be. I don't do it to be mean. It's like a hobby. It's like a hobby.
Pointing out people's mistakes.
I don't always point them out. I just, in my head, I'm like, oh no, they misspelled dessert again. It's like...
Well, there's dessert and there's desert.
I know.
We were talking about the English language with my exchange student the other day.
Mm-hmm.
We were at my in-laws' house in Robinson, and we were just talking about how crazy.
Mm-hmm.
How do you really spell donut?
Yeah, well, there's two different spellings.
I know. Which one's right? English, please.
I think they both are.
You do?
I think they're both correct these days.
See, because I think donut, D-O, is like donut. Donut.
Oh.
Dough is D-O-U-G-H.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we could go on for days on that,
We
too.
sure could. That could be a whole episode talking about grammar and
Talking
spelling.
about grammar and spell. Oh, when I send Beth a message or text, I'm like, oh, period, comma. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I don't care if you text me without punctuation. So my girls, teenage girls, always give me a really hard time about how I write out text completely and use correct punctuation on everything and spaces correctly and everything. And so I've kind of, when I text them, occasionally, it's hard for me to do, but I'll occasionally end a sentence without punctuation.
No. I'm even a weirdo about that.
No, I only do it when I'm texting them.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I'm just kind of like, let's just see what they say. They haven't said anything. They probably
well,
don't
it's
even
like
notice.
Facebook.
They probably don't notice.
If you're watching Facebook, it's like, could you put a period in there? I don't know where your sentences go. So you're like, reading.
Yeah.
It's like, la.
Some posts I can't even read because they
Mitzi
don't.
Goldstein, 6th grade. She would not approve.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I had some really good teachers.
I think I do pretty good.
Yeah, you do good. You do fine.
Yeah, I do fine. You don't give me the.
I don't slap your hand. No. I do think though that I was raised in a time where I had really good teachers.
Yeah.
I didn't like all of them.
I had
but were they good. I mean, they really taught me English well.
Don Talmont was a teacher at the high school, and I do believe those of us that went through the high school in the 70s and the 80s when they were there, we had the best. And they were there were a lot of male teachers, and they were fantastic. I love my female teachers, but I remember at the high school, it was mostly all men.
Really?
Oh, they were phenomenal. Oh yeah, you had Mr. Fry and Mr. Miglin and Mr. Buchanan, and then you had Mr. Baird. Gosh, I'm going to forget so many. I should have started this. Mr. Peterson, Mr. Talmont. You can just go on for days and days and days, and they were fantastic teachers.
Yeah.
And if you missed the boat in those times, but my grade school teachers were all women. And Mitzi Goldstein was great, Mrs. Brentlinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was my 4th grade teacher, Mary Ann Brentlinger. But Mrs. Goldstein was one of my. And then even in the 7th and 8th grade, I had Mr. Pemberton was my 8th grade. He was a man. I had a man, Mr. I think it was Miller in the 7th grade. Oh yeah, we had some great. Yeah,
I had great teachers too. I'm not going to jump into naming them all.
Yeah,
a lot of them
missed
were in
half of
Harrisburg, and you guys won't know them. But
I
but we need to move on to our rules to live by for today because it's almost time to wrap up our show.
This episode cannot be done.
It is. It is almost done. So tell us the rule to live by. Oh
my goodness, I like this one. It is the rules today is know yourself, be yourself.
Ooh, I love that one.
I think that's. Because you're like, how many times do we want to, like, especially like in relationships, we want to change ourselves? Never change who you are. Now, if you're not a very nice person,
right? Then
I'm not saying if you're not very nice and you're mean spirited, you might want to do a little soul searching,
right?
But for the most part, like, know who you are and be yourself.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty simple.
We're all quirky in our own ways, and don't worry if you think you're weird or something. I mean, we're all different for a reason. If we were all the same, it would be boring.
It would be a boring world, wouldn't it?
Sure would. So be yourself.
And that one, remember, long time, be kind, be nice. Smile.
Yeah.
I love those rules. Smile, be happy. Yeah. If you're having a bad day, fake it till you make it.
Yeah. We've had some good ones.
Oh, yeah. And I like this. Know yourself, be kind, be happy. Just go say hello to your neighbor, or if you're at Walmart, smile at somebody, wave to somebody. I'm the queen of waving to people and stuff. But Beth, that's our show again.
Oh my gosh! Well, thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it, and it was fun to talk about the East End Cafe.
It was a good one. Good one.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye bye.
God bless you. Bye bye.